Hey everyone, I am back with another video, and this is going to be like the last one. It's just going to be a one technique kind of video. You seem to really like the last one I did on infinity rings, so I'm going to do another one just showing you how to do lines, ripples, waves. People call them many different things. I'm just going to call them lines because it's just easier, and that's basically what it is. So, I am mixing my ink and my ISO before I put it down on the paper. If you're new, I think it's easier to do it this way instead of mixing it together on the paper. So mix it in a little cup first. Now with the last video on infinity rings, we were working our hairdryer around the ink in circles. On this one, you're just going to have your hairdryer on one side of the ink. I am picking up the paper and tilting it just a tiny bit down towards my hairdryer, and then moving my hairdryer in straight lines on the other side of the ink. When you move the hairdryer back and forth, the ink will start to dry and the lines will start to appear. I'm picking up the paper because it works a little better if you tilt your ink down towards the hairdryer. It will also help you control where your ink goes. I want this to be sort of in a specific spot. So if I didn't pick up the paper, it would be way too easy to just move the ink all over the paper. So, but you pick it up very, very gently and just basically move your hairdryer in a line back and forth, and you can make something like this. I think this is just like the coolest effect. I love making these lines. Isn't it pretty? I love it. So I'm going to show you two more actually, but the second one, I'm going to mix or add two different colors. I'm going to use the same one that I just did before, and I'm going to add a purple. Just put them right next to each other, and you're going to start doing the same thing that you did before. So picking up the paper and then just start working your way back and forth. The colors will mix in just a tiny little bit, but I think it looks so good when you add two colors or more colors if you want to. These two colors work really, really well together, but you can also pick colors like, I don't know, an orange and black. It just looks so cool. Again, just tilting the paper a little bit, letting the ink and the ISO run down to where my hairdryer is, and also just keeping it sort of in the same spot so that it doesn't move too much. But don't tilt it too much, or it will just run back and ruin the lines that you've already made. So two colors mixed together. What do you think? I think it is just awesome. I love it. Really cool. Now, how much ink and ISO you actually need when you're doing this really depends on what it is you want to do. There is no right or wrong really. You just need to practice a little with different amounts. And see how it works. If you don't have enough, the ink will dry too fast and you won't be able to make lines. So, but just try it out and see how it works for what it is you want to do with these lines. Now I'm going to do one more. I'm going to go over with the purple now, and I use a little less ink with this because it is a really dark color. With this one, I want to not just keep it in a certain spot. I want to move it around on the paper and change directions a little bit. Same as before, picking up the paper and tilting it just a tiny little bit. You can see that I have a lot more ink and ISO on the paper now than I did on the first two, because I want this to take up more space and I want to move it around more on the paper. Again, tilting it down towards the hairdryer, and I'm going to start to do two things in order to move this around in different directions. I'm going to start moving my paper around a little bit so that I start working with the hairdryer from a slightly different direction. I'm also going to push the ink in the direction that I want with the hairdryer, just very, very gently. When I was taping this, I actually almost wanted to stop here because this started to look like a really pretty flower to me. Like right here, it's a flower, I think. I really like this, but for the purpose of this video was not to make a flower, so I'm gonna keep going. Now you can see I turn the paper around and I start working in a completely different direction. It's very easy, and it also just gives the coolest effect, really. Now, I'm not actually trying to make like a finished piece or a painting here, just showing you this technique. So it's not going to end up being a masterpiece, but, and you can see my ink here is starting to move in different directions. You fix that very easily, just mix it in with your finger and just keep going. Now, like I said before, you do need a certain amount of ink and ISO on the paper in order to make these lines. So once you start only having a small amount left, it will start to dry really fast, and yeah, you won't be able to make the lines. But you can always add more if you want to keep going. If you want this to fill up more space on your paper, and you just add a little more ink, and then you just keep going, really. You can change the color. You can add, more than one color like I did earlier in the video. The possibilities with this technique are like endless. So it's really just start trying, experimenting. You can sort of practice on how fast you move the hairdryer. The faster you move it, the closer your lines are going to be. You move it a little slower, they're going to be further apart. I'm going to try right here and make a little spot with no lines. You can see I'm just drying it basically, so you won't really have any lines. And then you can start moving it slower again and the lines will appear. It's, like I said, endless possibilities with this technique. So I guess that's kind of it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is like the last one, just showing you one technique at a time, really. I think that's a really good way to learn when you're new with inks, and this is kind of the stuff I wanted to see when I was new, one technique at a time. So that's really why I'm making these videos. So again, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this, or let me know if you try it and tell me what happens. I feel like I want to do more videos like this. So there might be a few more, but I will definitely make a video where I do a whole painting and using this technique in that painting. But if you have any questions, comments, leave a comment. I would love to hear if any of you try this technique and how it works out for you. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again real soon with some more videos.